are scared to even have police or report things, even in like the neighborhoods we lived in, because they're scared of being deported. At times, like we didn't have like a babysitter to take care of us, so sometimes our parents would take us to work with them, and then I would see sometimes the way they were treated at work, kind of like a hostile attitude. I saw them not being able to really defend for themselves, just having to kind of in a way humiliate. And they had to just deal with it because they had really no other choice. So we had bullying at school because we were different, and the language, and it wasn't just from the Hispanic or the Mexican community. There was a lot of people from other countries where I lived in, and so they faced the same thing. Where other people were just in fear or ignorant on things, and that's how they reacted to it. I remember our teacher, it was my kindergarten, I think she was a little bit hostile, and towards, I felt towards me. I don't know if other kids, but it just seemed like when I spoke Spanish, her attitude was more hostile towards me. So, yeah. So I think that, that still goes on now, and I think with a lot of like the fear that people have, they will react based on a lot of myths and not facts. So, yeah. A good friend of mine, he's become like a grandfather to me. I met him at a public library, and I learned that he was from Laredo, Texas. And he says that, he's having some issues with his status here in the States because he was born in a home in Laredo, Texas. And a lot of immigrants felt forced to do that for fear of being deported during those times. And so their births are not really recognized or filed. And so when the time came to try to do something about it, there was an error in his case. And now those people are deceased, so he's having to obtain costly legal help. And it's kind of like walking on eggshells, because there's laws like right now that some states have passed, and that I think Texas wants to pass, and other states that makes it really hard for them to even get a job and stay employed, because a lot of these companies are now scared of getting fined or something, So he's, not able even to rent, an apartment or house, because, it's status, and then, sometimes, and he's got health issues. Of course, he's elderly, so he's got to be careful even stepping in there, because he's scared that maybe somebody will turn him into that and stuff like that. So that's the same thing I faced when we were younger, my parents faced. So, and I think it's just burdening the system when he could be contributing, because he's like a really hard worker. So, he was given the opportunity to prove himself and his citizenship, and so it costs us helping him, get a lawyer, and so he doesn't have to live in anxiety all the time and stuff like that. So, and being homeless, and there's always going to be pros and cons to everything. So, I think that then there's some concerns that are I would say legitimate, but I think that instead of being negative or hostile, I think that some people should talk about solutions and stuff, and address the root causes of things instead of just always attacking